In this video, I'm going to cover graphing vertical lines and horizontal lines. Let's start with graphing vertical lines. An equation with only the variable x is a vertical line. If the equation is x equals 3, all of the ordered pairs of the line have an x value of 3. The y values are not determined because there's no y in the equation, so the y values can be any value. The way that I graph this is first I write down the equation, x equals 3, then I locate the x-intercept of x equals 3. So I come over to the graph and I find 3 on the x-axis. I draw a vertical line at that point and I'm done. All of the ordered pairs on that line have an x value of 3. Lots of different y values, but all the x's are 3 on that line. Now to graph a horizontal line, an equation with only the variable y is a horizontal line. If the equation is y equals negative 2.5, all of the ordered pairs of the line have a y value of 2.5. The x values are not determined, so the x values can be anything. For my example, let's take y equals negative 2.5. I come onto the y-axis, I locate the y-intercept of negative 2.5. I draw a horizontal line so that all the y values of those ordered pairs on that line are negative 2.5. And I'm done graphing the horizontal line. For a quick synopsis of everything that we've done to this point, I have a summary. So in the table, you'll see that we have an equation where it says x equals a. So if your equation only has x and it equals a number, then we have a vertical line. And that vertical line is through the point a, 0, an ordered pair on the x-axis. And you draw the graph by plotting that ordered pair and drawing a vertical line through the point. The next equation, if you have y equals b or y equals any value, you get a horizontal line through the point 0, b. You plot that ordered pair and draw a horizontal line. Remember, this is going to be a horizontal line that passes through the y-axis, and the value of the y-axis that you cross through has that value of b. Okay, we had y equals mx plus b. That was slope-intercept form. This is a diagonal line. It passes through the point 0, b. So on the y-axis, it's the y-intercept. Well, remember that number at the end is the y-intercept. So you plot that point, use the value for m for the rise and run to find your second or third points. Our other equation is ax plus by equals c. This is in standard form. In standard form, it'll also be a diagonal line. And we calculate. In this video, we'll take a look at graphing vertical and horizontal lines. Let's start with vertical lines. An equation with only the variable x is a vertical line. If the equation is x equals 3, all of the ordered pairs of the line have an x value of 3. The y values of that ordered pair are not determined, so the y values are any value. Another reason for why the y values are any value is that the equation doesn't have a y in it, so the y values don't affect the fact that x must equal 3. To graph x equals 3, the first thing I do is locate the x-intercept, or the value of 3 in this case, on the x-axis, and I draw a vertical line. Moving on to graphing horizontal lines. An equation with only the variable y is a horizontal line. The equation is y equals negative 2.5. All of the ordered pairs of that line have a y value of negative 2.5. The x values are not determined, so the x values are any value. Now to graph y equals negative 2.5. First, on the y-axis, I locate the y-intercept of negative 2.5. I usually put a point there. Then I draw a horizontal line. All the ordered pairs on that horizontal line have a y value of negative 2.5. The x values, well, there's a large variety of those x values in all the ordered pairs that have a y value of negative 2.5. Let's take the time to also look at a summary of what we've covered for graphing over the last few videos. In summary, we've looked at 4 different types of equations. Let's start with x equals a. A is standing for a number. So if you have x equals, say, 4, you're going to have a vertical line through the point, and that point is going to be a point on the x-axis. If it had been x equals 4, then it'd be 4, 0. Once you plot that point, you draw the vertical line through the point. In our second example or situation, we have y equals b. So only y equals a number. It'll be a horizontal line through the point on the y-axis that has that b value for the y-intercept. To graph it, plot the point on the y-axis and draw a horizontal line. The next equation is in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. This is a diagonal line through the point 0, b, the ordered pair on the y-axis known as the y-intercept. Remember that plus b is your y-intercept. So to graph this, we first begin by plotting the y-intercept. Then we use the slope m, which is in front of x, change it to a fraction so we can see the rise and the run. And that'll give us a second point or a third point if we use the slope multiple times. The last equation is standard form. Standard form will give us a diagonal line. The strategy for drawing the graph is to calculate and plot the x and y intercepts. Remember, with the x and y intercepts, one at a time, you let the y value be 0, that'd be for the x-intercept. Let the y value be 0 and you solve for x. Then, to find the y-intercept, you set the x value equal to 0 and you solve for y.